Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarClan Tips and Tricks for the Paladin WarClan. My name is James McGuire, and I'm joined by Cory.
Hey, James. Glad to be here.
So, the purpose of these videos is going to be to introduce to new players, old players alike, what we see as potential problems when people are making new war clans. The idea is that between myself and Cory, mostly on Cory's end, honestly, we've got a lot of experience with what you should or should not do when making a new war clan, and which direction to go after you've made the war clan, even when they're leveling up.
One of the
Now,
cool things is
yeah,
there's so many choices, but I think people get overwhelmed, and sometimes too much of one thing is not a good thing.
yeah,
And we'll
yeah.
see that especially with the Paladins.
Absolutely, absolutely. With the horses in particular, you a common misconception with the paladins is everyone needs their own horse, and that's not really true. Cory, I know you have an idea of the perfect horse numbers as you level up. So while I go ahead and start showing off our brand new app, go ahead and what do you think about when should people have horses?
So I really like to start with two on a brand new war clan, which is, you got six on foot then. At a minimum. So, but more than that, you're going to find out as you start to get into some of the other adventures like the Pit and Nightfall and maybe even Wailing Citadel, horses aren't as useful. So, we don't want you to be, solely dependent on horses. They're awesome to have. They make your paladins special, but too much of a good thing can be way too much of a good thing. And then, as you hit 300 points, maybe you want to add another horse or two. But I don't think I've ever had a Paladin war clan where more than half my warriors were on mounts. So just something to keep in mind. And then I think James and I have different theories about how to use the horses and what to do. But that's kind of what makes Paladins fun is there's not one set path that you have to follow. We just know that going too far one way or the other can cause you problems in adventures once you get beyond Enter Perdition.
Yeah, of course, and we've I think we've both seen the wagons used to great effect, so that's actually a really good alternative. If you're really concerned about the mobility of your war clan, wagons are not a terrible option. In fact, if you've got, say, a ranger driving a wagon and they're scouting stuff while you've got both of your archers in the back firing, then you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, we've seen our buddy Ruben
Mm-hmm.
use that really effectively.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the warriors, right? So today we're going to be actually fully building a war clan from scratch using this program that Min has been making for us. So obviously we're going to start with the order master, but when you know Cory, what do you typically think should be kind of the starting warriors that you get for a paladin war clan?
You know, um, we've kind of had this discussion before, but I think Rangers may be the best base warrior in the game. So um, I know you had talked uh, before about Lancers being a little bit of a trap. You're kind of committed to being on horses if you get Lancers, and I think for 15 gold, the Ranger is just hard to beat. And that's because they have access to agility skills and strength skills, as well as psyche, too.
Yeah.
So they're just so versatile if you want missile guys, if you want melee guys. They're incredibly fast. So if I'm starting a war clan, I'm almost always, you got to have an order master. I'm almost always going 2 rangers and a monk, and then filling in with whatever I can.
Yeah.
I usually save a lancer for later on, when I'm going to expand beyond 8, or if I have somebody die, that might be the time to bring in the lancer. Maybe around 300 points when I'm ready to expand the number of horses in my war clan too.
Yeah, I honestly I agree. You pointed out that I don't necessarily like the Lancer, at least for a starting war clan. I think that it requires you almost to have that Lancer be on a horse, and so that's already taking up one of your horse slots. I'd rather pop an archer and a ranger on the horse and call it a day, or even your order master, because your order master has cavalier. Your lancer is kind of just a slightly worse order master.
Really, it's true, yeah. And the big thing about lancers is their big skill is cavalier, and so that's why you're saying you almost have to start them on a horse. Gird is really good because anytime you can, put a shield on somebody, that's always going to help you in melee and missile combat. But it's a big price to pay just to have Gird.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got a question for you, Cory. How does Gird differ from shield as a skill?
It doesn't differ much, except that it's easy to get. For Paladins, they would have to spend doubles to get the shield skill, so they can get Gird on a singles.
Okay.
And the shields are a little bit different. The Horseman's shield that's used with Gird is not as effective, so you can't use it for skills like Shield Bash or Shield Wall. It's truly for a mounted guy, but it does work on foot as well.
Okay.
It was intended. It was intended for a mounted rider.
Now, Cory, while we've been talking, I kind of filled in our war clan. We've got an order master, 2 rangers, 2 archers, 2 plainsmen, and a monk. And I think that for a starting war clan, spending 83 gold, having a little bit of extra gold to play around with for gear and equipment, I think that's a good thing.
That is a real good thing, and I like doing that build particularly well, and having that extra gold. So if I do want to get a couple horses, I can, and then I can still have some good melee weapons and things that we'll talk about in a minute. The other thing is, I know a lot of players are going to be tempted because plainsmen are so cheap. They might add that 9th guy, which is not required, but they might want to do it because they think numbers is good. And I think for beginning players especially, I think it gets overwhelming for them to try and manage that big of a war clan. So I would stick with the 8 and spend the other money and extra money in making everybody tougher.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and this is going to be the end of today's video. In next week's video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover all of the gear that we get, as well as talk about what we're going to do with particular warriors as they level up. But thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys next time.